Welcome back to our channel, World Coins History. As you knew that old is gold, but these rare Lincoln penny coins that are most valuable than you think, don't spend one of them, so please watch complete video and find your treasure. Let's start this. Top 1. Today, we're diving into one of the most iconic and fascinating coins of modern U.S. history, the 2009 Lincoln penny featuring birth and early childhood in Kentucky. It's more than just 1 cent. It's a tribute to the humble beginnings of one of America's greatest presidents, and, believe it or not, this little coin could be worth more than you think. Let's travel back to 2009. It was a historic year for U.S. coins. To celebrate the 200th anniversary of Abraham Lincoln's birth, the U.S. Mint released 4 different reverse designs on the penny, each representing a different stage of Lincoln's life. The very first design in this series is what we're exploring today. Birth and early childhood in Kentucky. This coin shows a simple log cabin, a powerful symbol of Lincoln's modest origins in Hardin County, Kentucky. The cabin rests against a clean background, a quiet but meaningful tribute to Lincoln's rural roots. Above it, the words United States of America and E pluribus unum frame the scene, while the bottom reads 1 cent. It's a simple design, yet it tells a powerful story, but here's where things get interesting. While millions of these pennies were struck for circulation, not all of them are created equal. Some were minted with higher quality finishes, some were made for collectors only, and others, thanks to mistakes during production, have become highly sought after and can be worth real money. Let's talk rarity. While the coin itself isn't rare in everyday condition, billions were made. What collectors crave are versions in pristine, uncirculated condition. That means no scratches, no wear, no damage from jiggling around in someone's pocket. Even more exciting are those elusive mint errors, coins that slipped through the cracks with something just a little off. Some of the most valuable versions of this coin include double die obverse errors, where the details on Lincoln's face or lettering look doubled. Off-center strikes, where the design is pushed to one side, making the coin look oddly shaped. Satin finish collector's editions, included only in special U.S. Mint sets, which were never meant for circulation. Die cracks, cuds, and other striking anomalies that give the coin unique character and rarity. Each of these quirks adds value, not just because they're rare, but because they turn an everyday coin into a one-of-a-kind collectible. Collectors are drawn to this coin not only for its historical importance but also for the excitement of the hunt. You could find one in an old jar, a box of change, or a roll from the bank. And if you're lucky enough to spot one with the right features, it might just pay off big time. So, what is this 2009 Lincoln birthplace penny really worth? In everyday, circulated condition, it's still just 1 cent. But uncirculated examples can go for around $2 to $5 depending on grade. And here's where it gets exciting. Those rare error coins and high-grade collector's versions have sold at auction for as much as $100 to several $100s, with some graded coins reaching over $700 in pristine, certified condition. So check your change and dig through those old coin jars. You might just be holding a tiny piece of history, worth more than you think. Top 2, we're unlocking the story of a remarkable modern coin that many people overlook. The 2009 Lincoln penny featuring presidency in Washington, D.C. It may look like just another 1 cent coin, but what if I told you this small piece of copper could be worth hundreds of dollars? Stay with me, because by the end of this video, you'll know exactly what to look for, and why collectors are on the hunt for this special penny. Let's set the stage. In 2009, the United States Mint released a series of 4 different Lincoln cent designs to honor the 200th anniversary of Abraham Lincoln's birth. Each coin tells a chapter of his incredible life, from his humble beginnings to his rise as one of America's most impactful leaders. The final design in this series, Presidency in Washington, D.C., commemorates the pinnacle of Lincoln's journey, his time as the 16th President of the United States. On the reverse side of this coin, you'll see the image of the U.S. Capitol dome, still under construction as it was when Lincoln took office in 1861. The design is not just artistic, it's symbolic. It represents a country in progress, much like Lincoln's vision for a united nation during one of its darkest chapters. Beneath the Capitol, you'll find the bold words, 1 cent and United States of America, all centered below the timeless motto, E pluribus unum. But now, Let's talk about what really makes this coin exciting: rarity and errors. While the coin was produced in large numbers for general circulation, collectors are chasing specific versions and minting mistakes that make certain examples stand out, and sometimes skyrocket in value. One of the first things collectors look for is condition. Uncirculated coins, those that were never used in day-to-day transactions, are far more valuable than their worn-down counterparts. These shiny, untouched coins are often pulled from original U.S. mint rolls or sets, and they can demand a strong premium, but that's just the beginning. What really sparks collector interest are the mint errors, and this 2009 Lincoln Presidency penny has a few that make it truly special. Some coins were struck with die errors, leading to doubling on the lettering or building details. These are known as double die errors, and they're highly prized. Others may show die cracks, giving the illusion of raised lines or extra design elements. There are also examples of off-center strikes, where the design is noticeably misaligned, and cuds, which appear as blobs or bumps due to broken dies. These flaws make each error coin unique, and far more valuable. Collectors also look for proof and satin finish versions, especially those made in San Francisco and Denver. These are not found in regular circulation and often have higher value due to their limited production and superior quality. Now here's where it gets really interesting. While most circulated 2009 Presidency pennies are only worth their face value, just 1 cent, a coin in brilliant uncirculated condition can sell for $2 to $5. Proof coins and satin finish versions may sell for $10 to $25 depending on condition. But the real stars are those rare error coins and high-grade certified examples. At auction, some of these have sold for over $300, and in top-tier, mint state grades, especially with doubling or off-center errors, they've reached prices of $600 or more. So before you toss that 2009 Lincoln penny into your change jar, take a closer look. You might be holding a hidden gem from one of the most meaningful commemorative coin releases in modern U.S. history. Top 3, we're spotlighting a classic, one that's been jingling in pockets, hiding in drawers, and quietly sitting in coin jars across America for decades. We're talking about the 1977 Lincoln penny. Yes, that 1 cent coin you've probably seen 100 times, but don't let its simplicity fool you. Some of these humble pennies are far more valuable than you think, and by the end of this video, you'll know exactly what to look for. Let's rewind to 1977. Gas was cheap, disco ruled the airwaves, and Americans were carrying a coin that's still very much in circulation today, the Lincoln Memorial Cent. First introduced in 1959 to replace the wheat penny, the memorial design stayed with us until 2008. The obverse features the familiar bust of President Abraham Lincoln, designed by Victor D. Brenner, while the reverse, designed by Frank Gasparo, shows the Lincoln Memorial with 1 cent boldly beneath it. So what makes the 1977 version of this penny so interesting? After all, it was minted by the billions, over $4.4 billion from Philadelphia and another $3.5 billion from Denver. That's not rare, right? Not on the surface. But as any collector knows, it's not just about how many were made, it's about how many survived in pristine condition, or better yet, with unique features that set them apart from the rest. And that brings us to the rarity factor. Even though these coins are common in circulation, finding one in flawless, uncirculated condition is a lot harder than you'd expect. Over time, most pennies get scratched, tarnished, or worn down. So, collectors hunt for those few 1977 Lincoln cents that somehow remained untouched, perfect examples of mint brilliance. These can bring in surprising value, especially when professionally graded, but here's where things get truly exciting: mint errors. The 1977 penny is known to have a few rare and collectible error varieties. These are the coins that can really bring in the big bucks. Some of the most sought after include double die obverse. Look closely at the lettering, especially "In God We Trust" or "Liberty." If you see signs of doubling, that could mean serious collector interest. Off-center strikes. If the design is noticeably shifted to one side, exposing blank planchet on the other, you could be holding a valuable error. Die breaks and cuds. These are raised bumps or missing chunks in the coin's design, caused by a damaged die. They're not just cool looking, they're collectible. Clipped planchets. a piece of the coin might be literally missing, usually due to a miscut blank during production. Even more subtle issues like repunched mint marks on Denver minted coins can add value. These variations are like hidden treasures for coin collectors, quirks that make your penny stand out in a sea of billions. So, what's this little brown coin actually worth? Let's break it down. In circulated condition, most 1977 pennies are worth exactly what they say, 1 cent. But a clean, uncirculated example? That could go for $3 to $5, depending on the grade. Now, if you've got a high-grade coin certified by PCGS or NGC, you might be looking at $20 to $60, or more, but here's the real kicker: error coins. A genuine double die or dramatic off-center strike has sold for over $100. In some rare cases, examples with strong errors in top condition have reached auction prices as high as $200 to even $400, depending on rarity and demand. So before you toss that old penny back into circulation, take a closer look. That 1977 Lincoln cent might be more than just spare change, it could be a hidden gem waiting to be discovered. Top 4, we're taking a deep dive into one of the most overlooked coins in your pocket, the 1966 Lincoln penny. It might seem like just another old cent, but trust me, this little copper coin has stories to tell, and some of them are worth cold, hard cash. So sit tight, because by the end of this video, you'll know why collectors are still chasing this penny nearly 60 years after it was minted, and what details you need to look for if you want to score a valuable one. Let's go back to 1966. America was in the middle of major change. The Vietnam War was raging, the civil rights movement was rewriting history, and the country was recovering from the coin shortage crisis of the early 60s. That shortage had a massive impact on how coins were produced, and the 1966 Lincoln cent is a direct result of it. Here's the interesting part: in 1965 and 1966, to discourage coin hoarding, the U.S. Mint stopped putting mint marks on coins. That means whether your penny was made in Philadelphia, Denver, or San Francisco, it won't have a mint mark. This makes the 1966 penny unique in U.S. coinage history and gives it a special place in collectors' hearts. Over 2.1 billion Lincoln cents were struck in 1966, so they're definitely not rare in general. But here's the twist: finding one in perfect, uncirculated condition, with full original red luster, is much harder than you think. Most of these coins were heavily circulated, tossed into vending machines, pocketed, and worn down. That's what makes well-preserved examples so desirable, but condition isn't the only thing that drives up value. Errors are the real jackpot. So, what kinds of 1966 Lincoln cent errors should you be hunting for? Let's break it down. First, there's the double die variety. These rare coins show doubling in areas like Liberty, the date, or In God We Trust. If you see that ghost-like doubling effect, you might be holding something special. Then, we have off-center strikes, coins where the design is pushed to one side, leaving a blank crescent of metal exposed. Depending on how off-center it is, these can be worth a lot, especially if the date is still visible. Another exciting type is the clipped planchet error, where a portion of the coin looks like it's been bitten off. This happens when the metal sheet used to make the coins is punched incorrectly. Also, keep an eye out for die cracks, cuds, or any other odd raised lines or blobs that don't belong. These are signs of a worn or broken die and can create unique error coins that collectors love. Now let's talk about color. Yes, color matters. Copper coins like this one are graded as red, RD, red-brown, RB, or brown, BN, depending on how much of that original mint color remains. A bright red 1966 penny in mint condition is worth more than a dull brown one, even if they're the exact same coin. So how much is a 1966 Lincoln penny really worth? In average circulated condition, it's worth just 1 cent, but don't let that discourage you. If you've got one in uncirculated red condition, it could sell for $5 to $15. Certified high-grade examples, especially in MS66 or MS67 condition, can fetch $40 to over $100. Now here's the real kicker: error coins are the real money makers. A strong double die or a dramatic off-center strike can bring in $100 to over $200, depending on demand and condition. And in recent auctions, Some top-graded 1966 Lincoln cents with rare errors have sold for up to $400. So, check those old jars, dig into your change drawer, and keep your eyes open. That old penny from 1966 might be hiding in plain sight, and it could be your ticket to owning a piece of history with real value. Top 5, and last rare coin, we're going to take a close look at a small, copper-colored coin that millions of people have handled, but very few have truly looked at. That's right, we're talking about the 1979 Lincoln penny, a coin that might seem ordinary, but could actually be worth way more than 1 cent, if you know what to look for. At first glance, the 1979 Lincoln cent doesn't appear to be anything special. It features the same portrait of Abraham Lincoln on the obverse, designed by Victor D. Brenner, that's been used since 1909. Flip it over, and you see the Lincoln Memorial on the reverse, a design by Frank Gasparo that was introduced in 1959. It's a design we've all seen thousands of times. But here's the catch, not all 1979 pennies are created equal. Let's talk about the mintage. In 1979, the U.S. Mint produced an enormous number of these coins. Over 6 billion came from the Philadelphia Mint alone, with another 4.1 billion from Denver, and around 3.1 million proof coins struck in San Francisco. So yes, the 1979 penny is extremely common in general circulation. But for coin collectors, rarity isn't just about how many were made, it's about how many survived in perfect condition, or how many were made with fascinating, collectible errors. This is where things get interesting. If you're holding a 1979 penny, take a closer look. Is it scratched? Worn? If so, it's probably just worth face value. But if it's crisp, shiny, and shows no signs of circulation, it might already be worth more than a cent. And if you happen to spot a rare error, you're in for a treat. So, what kinds of 1979 penny errors are out there? First, there's the famous double die error. This happens when the coin is struck with a die that has a slight doubling of the design. Look closely at areas like Liberty, In God We Trust, or the date. If you see a ghost-like doubling, that could be a double die, and those coins are highly sought after by collectors. Another key error to watch for is the off-center strike. That's when the coin was struck outside of its normal position, causing part of the design to be missing or pushed to one side. If at least half the design is visible and the date is clear, these errors can be worth serious cash. There are also clipped planchet errors, where a piece of the coin looks like it's been bitten off due to a minting mistake. Die cracks, cuds, and repunched mint marks are also on the list of collectible oddities. Each of these adds unique character and value to what might otherwise be a common coin. Let's not forget about proof coins from the San Francisco Mint. These coins were never meant for circulation. They were made with a special high polish finish and sold to collectors in sets. If you've got a 1979 penny with a mirror-like shine and an S mint mark, especially in pristine condition, that's something to hold on to. Now, let's get to the part you've all been waiting for, the real market value. A standard 1979 penny in circulated condition is still only worth face value, just 1 cent. But a coin in uncirculated condition, especially with its original red luster, can sell for $2 to $10, depending on its grade. If it's been professionally graded and earns a high mint state, MS, rating, say, MS 66 or above, it might bring in $20 to $50, or more. Now here's where it gets really exciting. Those rare error coins, like double dies or dramatic off-center strikes, have sold for $100 to over $300, depending on severity and condition. And a top-grade 1979 S proof penny in flawless deep cameo condition has reached auction prices of $400 or more. So before you toss that old penny back into your change jar, take a second look. It might just be a tiny piece of history, with a hidden value. If you found this video helpful or fascinating, give it a thumbs up, hit that subscribe button, and turn on notifications so you don't miss our next coin hunting adventure. Thanks for watching, and remember, the next rare coin could be sitting right in your pocket.